loves. I almost forgot to do my video today. It's nearly 9:30 at night. It's been a wacky day, but how could I not update you on Kale's travails? What a day. What a day. Okay, so this morning I had decided that I was not going to do all of today's walk because the last at least 2 miles, if not more, were a super steep downhill, and my joints just aren't into that. And I'd rather do the uphill, believe it or not. What has this world become? So out of what was going to be a 12, 13 mile walk, I intended to do the first 8 or 9 and then bail by taxi. And then I wasn't going to go to that town that was at the bottom of the downhill, which was Campo Becerros, because it had a super terrible rating and who knows what else. I was going to go on to Lhasa, which was the next town. However, the French couple caught up to me last night and they were going to Lhasa, and I don't want to be where they are because I don't want that kind of negativity in my life. It's literally the silent treatment, except last night when she thought I had done something wrong and started yelling at me, but I hadn't done anything wrong. It's really dramatic staying with those two. It's really just her, but point is, I don't want to be where they are. So I ended up walking. So it started with a 2 to 2.5 mile uphill-ish. And the guidebook said great views. So I started a little bit later today because I wanted to actually see what was going on. My goodness, he was not lying. It was incredible because you're hiking up a mountain, but you're in like a central range. So once you get up to the top, you're like kind of going up and down along this ridge, but on either side of you is the whole rest of the range. So you're just in the middle of this absolutely incredible world of mountains. There were some rivers, there were just, honestly, it was just mountains, right? I'm just looking at different forms of green and different peaks, but it was just incredibly up there. And there was wind up there, so you just like felt life breathed into you. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. But then my right ankle rolled. Now this happened shortly before I left, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but I'm still dealing with some of the scars from that particular tumble. So my right ankle rolled today, and I caught myself with my trekking poles, and I'm not sure if that was the moment, but it may have been. And I ended up tweaking my left calf. It felt like a pull, but not super bad, but going up made it worse. And obviously I'm in the flippin' mountains. So this happened, I don't know, mile 6 or so. And I soldiered on, and then it continued to get worse. And so by around mile 7.5 to 8.5, I don't know. I decided I'm close to where I was going to bail anyway. I'm just gonna call a cab now because why do myself more harm? So I called the cab. He's gonna come get me, but it's gonna take him half an hour. So I poked my butt along. I was like, well, I may as well keep moving slowly. And I did, and it didn't hurt. It was fine. So I moved slowly. And I made it actually to the town I intended to go to anyway. So, I got my 8.5 or something in, I don't know. And then the cab came and picked me up. First he missed me, which was hilarious. I was like, no, taxi, come back. And someone down the road saw me being like, taxi, and turned around, which was funny. And then it turned out to be an elderly gentleman. He was flippin' lovely. He was telling me all about Galicia. He's from here. And we actually had a great conversation. And at one point I was like, speaking with you is so much easier than a lot of the stuff I've been dealing with so far in terms of, my comprehension. He's like, oh, that's because this is also my second language. I really grew up just speaking Gallego. And whenever I try to talk to you, I have to translate. I'm like, oh, so we're both translating into a mutual, not our language. No wonder this is going so well. So that lovely gentleman took me all the way to Xunqueira de Ambía, which is apparently how they say it in Gallego. I don't know how they say it in Castellano. And that's where I am. Let me try to think if there's anything else from the hike that I probably should have mentioned. There was what I thought was the highest point in Galicia, but then I looked around at the mountains around me and I was like, this is clearly not the highest point. I think now in retrospect that it's the highest swing in Galicia. It's literally a swing on the top of one of these peaks. Did I swing? Of course I swung. I am a child. And it was gorgeous. There was wind and there was scenery. But no, I guess that's it from the hike. Beautiful views. Life is interesting. So he took me to Xunqueira de Ambía, And that was like an hour-long drive. So we just chatted. We stopped at another albergue along the way. He's like, you have to see this albergue. It's so interesting. They have the shells, the conchas, which are like the symbol of the peregrinos who do Santiago de Compostela's walk. Santiago's walk, right? Compostela's the town. Anyway, and they're all over the whole bar. They have you write your name and the date and your country, and then they put them up, and it's absolutely amazing. So I felt silly stopping there because I'm coming in by taxi, but he stamped my pilgrim passport at the request of my driver, and he had me do one of the shells, which was really cool. Then we continued on. We got to Xunqueira. So when we got here, he dropped me off at the municipal albergue. And I walked in, and I walked in the front door. Everything seemed fine, but there was nobody there. And I was trying to read the signs, but the signs aren't even in Spanish. They're in Gallego, which I don't speak, even a little bit of. And it seemed like they didn't do check-in until 8 p.m. And I wanted to go get food, and I wanted to be able to drop my bag, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So I looked, and there was another albergue in town, and it said that it was $15 for the albergue. So I come over, I tried to call them, they didn't pick up. I walked over here. On the walk here, it's a 7-minute walk, right? I just got dropped off from this gorgeous taxi ride. It's a 7-minute walk. My ankle gave out again, but this time I didn't have my trekking poles because I was on a sidewalk. So now I don't know if I took a step into a pothole or whether the ankle just quit on me, but whatever it was, my right ankle just 100%, and I went down like a ton of bricks. I hit the pavement hard. I did. I hit the pavement hard. Now, I'm not going to say it was skill. It was luck, but I happened to land, or maybe it was skill. I don't know. I landed entirely on my left side, but like fully on my side, not with my wrists or anything. And so it was a shock and it was unpleasant, but I didn't actually injure myself, which was kind of a miracle. I didn't even really end up scraped up, which I thought I was going to be, but it's fine. Nonetheless, it really shook me. I was not pleased. Got a little emotional. Maybe just because it was scary. I don't know. Continued my walk. I get here. Turns out the albergue is closed, but they have also like a regular sort of hotel style thing, which is where I am. This is me sitting against my bed on the floor. And it's not 15, it's 30 euro, such is life. So I come in. And now I'm looking ahead to tomorrow, and it's far, and the next day is far, and my ankles are giving out, and I tweaked my calf, and I'm feeling. So I'm trying to do research on, can I do shorter days? No, not really. There's nothing open in between. Can I go do a different final 100 kilometers? That's not really working out either. I tried, and I just got really dispirited. That's a gentle way of saying I lost my shit. I came right to this lovely bed and I cried. I did. I'm gonna cry again. Whenever I talk about crying, I cry. I guess I'm frustrated that I thought as the trip went further, I would be getting stronger and going further and it would be easier. And instead I'm dealing with more injuries and I'm skipping more, and I just don't feel like I'm succeeding in the way I intended to. However, gotta let that go, right? Gotta let that go because this is where I'm at, and I can't just will my body to behave better. So, this is one Camino of possibly many, or maybe this is the only one I ever do because I'm gonna finish it and be like, that was the most difficult 3 weeks of my life. Oh my God, constantly changing plans, constantly dealing with injuries, just pretty high level of stress at all times. This has been wild. It's also the experience of a lifetime, right? I've seen things I never would have seen, spoken to people I never would have spoken to, but I guess I'm frustrated. I am, and I'm tired. Right, so continue on to my story. I cry. And then I showered and washed my clothes and all that good stuff, and then I went downstairs in search of food. So I arrived here around 2, which is usually when they start serving lunch. I went downstairs around 4:15. Bar's closed, food's done until 6 at the earliest. Now, all I've had today at that point was fruit, 2 pieces of fruit. So I leave, I walk to the next bar, closed. Well, not closed, but no food. And then I walk to the next bar and it's closed, like not just the fact that there's only alcohol, no, there's nothing, it's closed. And then I go to the grocery store and of course it's closed because it's Sunday. So I'm super hungry, I'm tired, I'm frustrated. And so I came back here and I just laid down. I did my Instagram post. I, probably played around on the internet. I don't know. And then I passed out for a very brief bit. And then I finally got up at around 6:15, 6:30, went down, got some food. I had a salad. It's so nice to have lettuce. And I had scrambled eggs because all they ever have anywhere is meat. So I'm living off fruit, salad, bread, and scrambled eggs. I did have bread as well. And then at the end of my meal, they tell me, oh, by the way, there's a concert across the way at the church. It's, according to the guy who said, it's like the third most famous organ in Europe. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's a special kind of organ. Someone said something about it being a trumpet organ. I don't know. But so I went to a free concert. I was falling asleep a little bit, not for lack of his talent. It was a long and emotional day, but still, it was super cool. I have some video of that, which if anyone wants to see, give me a shout and I'll either post it or send it to you. And now I'm back. Teeth are brushed. I just remembered that I should probably take this video before I forget all about my zany day where it started off so well. I felt really good. And then, I really enjoyed that taxi ride with that lovely older gentleman who told me about how Galicia sells chestnut trees. Like that's their major export is chestnut trees, apparently. It was good. And then it was less good when things stopped working so well and I ate it. And I had another one of my meltdowns because apparently that's what this trip's about. But here we are. I've decided I'm not changing anything. Tomorrow is a long day into Ourense. And Ourense is the start of the 100 kilometers. So tomorrow I'm going to walk however much I flip and feel like. And then I'll take a taxi the rest of the way. And then I'm probably going to take a full day in Ourense before I walk again. So a full genuine rest day because today I walked 8.5 and took a car. Tomorrow I'll walk something and take a car. The next day, nothing. And then it starts the final 100 kilometers, the first day of which is very challenging. It's like 14 miles uphill, period. And there's nowhere to bail before then. So I'm just gonna have to get through one very difficult day or this just isn't the trip I get to Compostela. And that's okay too. So there's the story. Another very long video. I apologize. Thanks for hanging with me through all the emotions. It's been a day. It's been a trip. A couple of weeks. I also think being by myself through this has been challenging. I miss my group. But also I couldn't have kept up with them anyway. So it's complicated being out here. That's all. Have a wonderful night, day, whatever. Again, I have no internet, so I guess you'll see this when you see this. Bye.